This is a great question and I get it all the time. If I'm so unhappy, how come I can't leave? Now, let me explain to you why we're here. The human brain was designed to keep us safe. Back eons ago, we were trying to outrun saber-toothed tigers, hunt large animals, and basically just survive on a day-to-day basis. Now, we don't have those same things in our daily life, but our brains are still in that mode. Keep us safe, keep us alive, keep us comfortable. What that means is even if we are living in a hellish prison, whatever that situation is, it might be our family dynamic, our home, our work situation, all the above, we will choose an uncomfortable hell over an unknown heaven any day. And I know that sounds crazy, but here's why. We know in our prison that we have the exact size of it, how far we can run backwards and forwards, how high we can jump, what happens on a really bad day, what happens on a good day, how much it's going to hurt. And we have that all figured out. So that knowledge is comfort. Even if it sucks on a daily basis, we still know what it's going to be like. When we look to the unknown, we have no idea. It might be different, it might be fun, but we don't even know what that feels like. So that uncertainty breeds an anxiety that we can't rectify with our current comfort. In order to grow and evolve as a person, you're going to have to be willing to make that trade-off for comfort in an unhappy situation to the unknown, which could be extraordinary. This isn't something that's going to happen automatically. What we're doing is we're shifting our mindset from what if it goes wrong, what if I fail, what if I suck, what if no one likes me, what if the business idea flops, into what if it goes well, what if it succeeds, what if it's great, what if I win, what if people love it. And that's not going to be an overnight process. That's something that is going to take as much time. That's something that's going to take quite a bit of time and effort on your part. Think of it, whether you're 30, 40, 50, 60, you've had all those years of experience and habit forming one way. What if it goes wrong? What if I fail? What if I suck? It's going to take effort and time to change that pattern. And that doesn't look like saying a cute mantra necessarily. It looks like making a consistent effort that when you start going down the what if negative train, to turn it around and go the other direction. What we're doing is we're manually rewiring our brain. We're rewiring our mindset into a different way of thinking. And that's going to feel a little bit fake and contrived at first. When we start saying, what if it goes right? There's this instinct to be like, oh, it's so cheesy. But the reality is, how come we give so much value to the negative? How come we're willing to say, what if it goes wrong so quickly? But it feels awkward or embarrassing or weird to say, what if it goes right? It's a bit of a strange dynamic. In theory, it should be at least 50-50, but one feels really out of whack for most folks. So it's not something that's a magic switch. You're just going to be like, oh, perfect, I had this idea and now we're here. It's going to have to be an ongoing practice. That might be every day. It might be every hour. But what I can promise you is where you change your mindset from what if it goes wrong to what if it goes right, and you start exploring, what if I opened that door up of this prison and I looked outside? What if I just peeked out the top window? What if I imagined what it could look like? You don't have to go straight from being in the situation you're in to living a completely different life. But I would invite you to start being curious. What would it look like? What would happiness look like? What would being loved by a partner feel like? What would support in my marriage look like? What would the affection I crave be? What would a workplace where my ideas were heard or I was doing something I was passionate about feel like? When we start to ask these questions, we start to define what we're looking for. Because there's two things. One is, I want to get out of this situation. But if you don't have a good idea of where you want to go, you can walk out of that prison and you're going to walk right into another one because this is all you know. So you're going to be seeking that, you're going to be looking for it, and you're going to say, somewhere in the root of your being, this is home, this is comfortable. So it's very important, and that's a safe way of starting to explore is while you're in your current situation, start playing the what if game. It's something we did as children. It was so easy to play pretend then. It's a lot harder as an adult. When we start tinkering around the idea of what would that feel like, ask yourself crazy questions. What if I had $1 million and I had to spend it in the next 30 days? What if I had the answers to my problems? Okay, well, what are my current problems? What would the answers look like? What would it feel like to wake up and not have that? You know, say you've got, maybe you've got like a crushing school debt that you're still carrying around. What would it look like to wake up and not have that? You have no idea because you've had it for so long. So starting to play around with some of those ideas is a great way of loosening up some of the stagnation in your brain, a way of trying on a little bit of a different mindset and different feeling. And we don't shift from being one way to being another way. You don't go from your current situation into this empowered, enlightened state right off the bat. I wish that it could, but that's just not how it goes. It's going to happen through these little tiny movements. But every time you make a different change in your brain, every time you look at something a different way, through a different lens, you'll start to realize that you have a choice. You can either pick up the what if it goes wrong, or you can pick up the what if it goes right. You can start to think, what if I, go down this rabbit hole of negativity, or what step could I take right now that would make me feel better about it? And as you start realizing that you have a conscious choice, you're taking yourself out of the passenger seat of the car and you're putting yourself in the driver's seat. Once you start doing that, you're going to realize that you are the person in charge. You are the person that is physically keeping the door to your prison shut, and it's up to you to take the right steps to open that back up when you're ready. If you have any questions, I'd love for you to join me at yourjoyacademy.com. The Joy Academy is something I created after I've gone through my own journey of discovery and trying to find fulfillment and purpose in my own life. If you're tired of settling for what's fine and you're looking for something greater than that, come join me and check out the courses, articles, and more we have at the Joy Academy. Thanks so much. Take care.